Walk into any high-stakes meeting or a crowded social event, and you'll see the same behavior. People using volume and constant motion to ensure they aren't overlooked. We are often conditioned to think that authority is a volume game, that the person talking the loudest or moving the most is the one in charge. But there is a hidden cost to this effort. When we scramble to fill every silence or rush our sentences, we are actually broadcasting our own internal tension to everyone else. This is leaking energy. Those small, unconscious gestures, like tapping a pen or darting your eyes, look scattered and frantic to the human subconscious. Yet in every room, there is an anomaly. The person who says nothing, moves very little, and still manages to hold the focus of every person present. Presence isn't about generating noise, it's about energy conservation. The most influential person is the one who stops performing and starts using the silent mechanics of psychology. Establishing that influence starts the moment you cross the threshold of a room, beginning with how you contain your physical frame. Powerful individuals follow the stillness rule. They deliberately eliminate micro-movements, like adjusting a watch or shifting their weight, that the brain performs to discharge nervous energy. When you refuse to fidget, you deny the room any evidence of your anxiety. You become a fixed point in a sea of motion. This stillness is paired with open territory. Relaxing your posture and letting your arms rest away from your body signals that you feel secure enough to remain exposed. Spatial dynamics are a zero-sum game. When you hunch over or cross your arms, your territory collapses inward. But by keeping your movements expansive, your presence claims the floor around you. Mastering stillness and space creates a psychological center of gravity. You aren't chasing the room's attention. The room's energy is forced to orient itself around your stability. By refusing to leak energy, you create a physical anchor that settles the chaotic pace of the environment. Once you have established your presence in the wider room, the challenge shifts. How do you direct that conserved energy to build an immediate connection with a single person? Most people let their focus drift, their eyes darting to surroundings or their phones. But you can use a contained, specific focus called the triangular gaze to signal total presence. The geometry is simple. You slowly shift your focus from their left eye to the right and then down to the mouth. This cycle provides a rhythmic, human focus that feels attentive without becoming a confrontational stare. You can deepen this rapport through mirroring. When someone leans forward and you follow that movement a few moments later, you are tapping into the chameleon effect, an evolutionary trigger for safety and trust. For this to work, there must be a 3-second delay. That gap ensures the conscious mind doesn't notice the imitation, while the subconscious feels a deep, nonverbal alignment. Magnetism isn't about being impressive. It's about physically reflecting the other person so they feel completely seen within the environment you've created. Even in the middle of a fast-paced conversation, you can steer the rhythm of the dialogue without ever raising your voice. Look for the fast nod. It's the nervous habit of bobbing the head quickly to signal you want the speaker to hurry up so you can talk. The slow nod is the correction. A slow, deep nod acts as a psychological green light. By removing the pressure for the speaker to stop, it validates them so effectively that they often share 3 to 4 times more information than they originally intended. This control over pacing extends to the power pause. While most people rush to answer as soon as the other person stops breathing, a person in control does the opposite. Holding a beat of silence before you reply forces the room to wait for your energy. It gives your words weight before you even speak them. By regulating your nods and your pauses, you break the frantic rhythm of the room and force the conversation to adapt to your internal clock. When you apply these 6 techniques together, the atmosphere around you changes. People lean in, their voices soften, and the friction of the room begins to dissipate. The common threat here is biological. Each of these tactics requires you to override the human brain's reflexive urge to fidget or rush when it feels social pressure. The average person is a passenger to the noise of the room. The person with silent power understands the mechanics behind that noise and chooses to remain still. This realization reveals the true nature of influence. It is less about dominating the people around you and more about achieving a state of absolute self-regulation. Mastering your stillness, your space, and your silence turns you into the fixed point that the rest of the room relies on.